Hey, and welcome to Tool Talk for Northern New York Park. My name is Eric, and I'm the owner of this business. And what I try to do is do a segment on just tools, what are handy, what will make your life a little easier, and the must-haves if you're running a shop. Now, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. Today I thought we'd talk about chainsaw safety. Now, the stuff that I'm going to show you today, and I'll give you reasons why, but I thought we first start off with is I have a skill hand grinder, and I've got the attachment goes on the side. And one of these you're going to find you're going to use it a lot with your welding, grinding and stuff. You can put the cutting wheels in this, but I've got a smaller unit that I use with a cutting wheel. And then these are, I've already had these for quite a while. And then I've got the 1/2-inch impact electric. And they're great if you got power where you can plug in. You know, they got quite a bit of torque. But as most of us already have started working into the battery side, you know, I think either Travis or Jason has said that they come a long way with the batteries, and they have. And like I noticed too, Claude and I were talking about that, like with my 20-volt DeWalt impact, they have different power sections that you can buy something that would deliver more power out of the same unit with a 20-volt battery. And I didn't know that. But the next one I'm going to be picking up is the 1/2-inch. Claude already has the 20-volt 1/2-inch up to his house. And we've been using that on the mini excavator, on the big excavator to take the big nuts off. And it's still running on 20 volt, but it's a powerhouse. So they are coming a long ways. So let me get these out of the way. Still trying to do some cleaning around here. Alright, so the first thing is a dead blow hammer. Now, for you guys that are in the lawn and garden section, you know, working on like lawnmower decks, if I can get glasses. Because a good example for this is like with your spindles on your decks. Now, if you wanted to take this nut off and you wanted to drive this out, you want to drive it that way, and right here is a actual stud. And one of the ways you can do it you've got the steel hammers, right? And if you want to bugger up like these threads, give them a good whack and see what happens. That's what these girls are for. Now, I recommend that if you're going to change the bearings and the shaft, to loosen that up. Take that right out, and then put the nut back on until it's close to the thread, just like that. You want it just about flush, because if you do bugger a little bit, at least with backing that out, you can recut, make the thread good. So from there, then you can kind of give it a hit and it pops loose. So then you can just take your bolt out. As you can see, it didn't do any damage to it. And go ahead and replace this, that, And then simply from this point, you're just going to tighten it up either with a 1/2 inch impact, or like I say, a lot of the 3/8 20 volts are getting pretty strong. And even if you went to the 1/2 inch 20 volt, that would put that back on for you. But that's what these are used for. So they aren't buggering up thread. And they're filled with sand, so when you hit, you're hitting a solid whack. It's a must-have if you're going to be working on lawnmower tools. You put it right away into the... Now, they make different sizes. Claude, the one that he's got out in that toolbox, is a little bit bigger. And the reason I didn't get the same one is in case he needs to use this one. Because again, in this shop, all the tools here are mine. That I supply all the tools to work out there, and these are all mine, and the ones in my garage and the ones in my house. And that way, if something happens with Claude, the tools all stay here. All the specialty tools and everything. Set this over here. The next thing I picked up was I was looking for a way to set up a better system on the walls for the plug-ins, and then you have a reset if it trips. But I was looking, because these are from Harbor Freight, and who makes these buggers? Just says Super Power Strip on it. Distributed by Harbor Freight. Well, Harbor Freight manufactures all their own tools, or has it manufactured for them. They put different names on it, but it's all still their tools. But I was looking at one that was the magnetic mount that you could mount in the back of your toolbox, and it only had like 3 plugins, and they wanted $39 for that. But for this bugger, full length, cost me 15 bucks a piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a power strip on each side so that I can plug in and work anywhere on the bench. They're going to make my life a lot easier, and then you also, like I say, you have trip in it, so if something draws too much, it kicks off. If you don't have any funnels, grab some. This is probably the most common one that we use. We've got the bigger ones, and then we got the little tiny ones, but this one here is an all-around good one. It's great for the lawnmowers when you're doing a service, generators, what have you. But they aren't that expensive, but you might want to pick up a couple of different sizes. Alright, so this next one, kind of like once you try it, you never go back, right? Back. Here we are. It's anti-fatigue foam mats. And they come in a package of 4. And they're right around 10 bucks. And if you're on your feet working on concrete all day long, you are going to love me. Because for 10 bucks, you can hook these together in series right under your work area, and it cushions your hips and everything else. I've got them along the inside of where my office and stuff, from Claude to where he works on his computer. So when we're standing on the mat. We also have 6 or 8 of these out in the shop, and Claude spends a lot of time on his back, to be honest with you. He's underneath mowers, blowing off decks, working on stuff. Then what he does is he'll set down like 2 or 3 mats so that he's laying on the mat and not on the concrete floors. So let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. And these are $10 for a set of 4. going to be one of the best things that you ever buy, whether you're standing on concrete or if you're standing on wood all day. Buy them. You know, buy one, and I guarantee you, you're going to want more than a package of 4. So that your whole area that you're working along your bench will have the extra padding. Alright, so now let me move this. Move this. Alright, so what are we doing with these? Alright, you have this, and then you have this. Let's see. Go like this. Just like doing a jigsaw puzzle is the best way to explain it. Now, this one will go and do a setup like this, where it's too wide, you know, too deep. But here's the other thing. You can take these off. And then you could take with this, and let's say we want to mount it lengthwise. Just like that. And then we're going to want to go take this off. Now at this point you can just take, if you want to keep it squared up, bring it right into there, and then simply just take your X-Acto knife, and you know it's not going to match up to that corner, so I just take and cut it right there and take that out. Then let's see, what do we got here? And we want to come in to that, so we want to slide this down. That. All right, so what do I end up with? Where you got a place to work with your feet. And I'm thinking with these pieces here, you could take these, getting old, put them right into here. That just kind of squares them up is all. But that's all there is to it. You move this here. So that's what it looks like in front of my counter. Where I'm working all the time, you're standing on the rubber mats. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Like I say, it's going to save your back working off these. And what I'll end up doing is, since my workbench goes all the way down, this mat, I'll extend it. I'll grab another $10 4-piece and take it right to that wall. So anywhere I'm working in front of my counter, and then if I'm doing videos where I'm using this to show you something, whether it's using my 110 volt auto arc welder to welding on decks, to what have you, if I'm going to spend any amount of time here, there will be extra mats leaned up against that wall that I will lay down and stand on them, just so that at the end of the day I'm not just going like this, which I already am because I'm on concrete most of today. So on that note, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you the next episode of Tool Talk. And we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna try different stuff. Like maybe next time we'll talk about the wire feed welder that I have that's a 110, the auto arc, and I talk about the Hobart that is AC DC 230 180, and that's a 220 setup. The ones I've got out in the shop where Claude is I've got the Hobart out there, but it's strictly AC, and then the wire feed that is out there is also a 220, so it's a lot hotter. And you can do a little heavier metal with the wire feed with the 220 than you can with the 110. But when it comes to working on decks, and you guys will see, it's a lot easier to use the 110 setup. So on that note, you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you on the next talk of Tool Talk.